Hey gang, Scott with the Scott Gaertner Group back here at Reviving Loving Tree, and it's time you got to know the designer, Jeffrey Florentine. Jeffrey, thanks for I promise we won't take a lot of time, but I really think people would like to get to know you. And by the way, cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks very much for doing
Absolutely, welcome.
I know. I'm the guy that sold you your first house as
Yeah.
you moved here from Nevada, but I don't even remember. What brought you guys down here?
The desert climate, I mean, who doesn't move down here for this? So we were drawn to the cactuses, the warm weather. Unfortunately, we had snow. I don't know if you're here for
this
that.
week.
So I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, so we moved out here for the desert climate. Visited Scottsdale about 10 years ago and fell in love with the area. And 3 years ago, we had an opportunity to move out here and we took advantage of it.
And it's turned out good.
And it turned out amazing.
What have you been doing? What else have you done besides the TV shows and stuff? You're just kind of getting started designing down here?
We've been doing a lot of TV work with HGTV, A&E. So moving out here, I had an opportunity come across my desk and I'll be honest with you, I had no idea Desert Mountain even existed. And you know, I called my realtor up and we came up here and I fell in love. It's just beautiful. So Bing Hu is an architect that went to Taliesin and he did a lot of properties up here. And man, I mean, the bones are so good up here. So we were just drawn to buy, and I've actually been helping out a lot of people here in Desert Mountain kind of revamp their dated homes. It's been about 25, 30 years for some of these houses up here, and they've got great bones, but just really dated.
For those of you who don't know, that when Jeffrey came to me and wanted to do a project up here, he literally said, we want to bring the soul back to Desert Mountain. He's seen so many homes here that you think really have great bones.
Absolutely.
But they've just gotten kind of dated over the years, and nobody really wants to do that, particularly people sometimes of means. They're generally living in another state. Do they want to go through a project doing that?
Right.
So there's been a lot of properties and a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, there is. We're actually in one of the houses that no one wanted. So this house sat in the market for over 100 days. It had 2 offers prior to us finding it. It fell out of escrow twice because the inspection report came back and it's a little intimidating what needed to be done. But I love the challenge. I love those type of houses that no one wants. And I mean, it came out great. It's still in process, but you know, we're really happy with how it's coming along.
You know, the first home that you bought here, I didn't love because of the location, but you were sold because you said it had great bones. Honestly, that isn't what I do for a living. You know, I don't see that kind of a thing. What is it that you see in a home? What is it you kind of mean when you say it has great bones?
It's hard, you know, it's hard to explain. It's just something that I feel when I'm walking a house. When I watch TV, I'm the same way. I look at spaces, even in restaurants or hotels, houses. I just look at how can I make a space more usable, more inviting. It's like our children. So we take each home that we work on and we really visualize ourselves living in it and utilizing every space of that home.
Is it something like it hits you immediately, or is it something you've got to spend some time in the home and begin to develop ideas? Or maybe it's a mixture of both?
Yeah, it's definitely a mixture of both. I kind of feel the energy of the home. I know this sounds really weird. I'm a big energy feeler. So when walking into a home, I love to take on the energy. And a lot of these homes have no energy. They have no life. They have no soul. We just see these neglected homes and they're beautiful when they're at their fullest potential. So
No, that's good. And that, you know, actually, I'm not a woo-woo kind of a guy thing, but there are definitely houses you walk into and there's a different sense immediately. And that's not just me. I mean, they say clients make up their mind in 30 seconds or something. That's part of it, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I'm definitely a spontaneous person when I walk a house and I know it's gonna be a beautiful home or has a major potential, I will buy on the spot right there and then. Kind of like the house you sold me. That was the house we wanted. We bought it right away. And just, it's when you know, you know?
Not to go in too much detail, but the house set records when they sold it. Even though I didn't like the location, nothing had sold even close to that price per foot in that neighborhood. So he was right, I was wrong. Jeffrey wins. All right, I've already seen some examples, so I have an idea of how differently you do things than most designers, but I don't know if you can put it into words, but can you tell these guys a little bit about what you do differently?
Sure, yes.
Why you're different?
Yeah, so when we walk homes, it's more of a process of designing for the home. We're very specific to the home. You can walk into a house that has a mid-century modern appeal on the exterior, and then some people will do traditional or Tuscan, and that just is not right? So you want to be true and true from the exterior to the interior. So every home that we touch exudes what it's meant to be.
Yeah, so yeah, I've seen that actually. You don't know, you just know there's a bit of a break. It's not integral or something that
Right.
it doesn't all flow. And that really is what I've seen in your homes, is that everything seems to fit together.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think that's really important because there is a lot of chop designs out there. People move into homes and they hire designers, or they try to be a designer, and they try to incorporate things they either see on TV or things that they like, and it's not necessarily true to the home. So for example, this house had cherry wood floors. It had cherry veneer doors. It did not go with the house at all. Whereas when we come in, we definitely design to the architect of who designed the house originally. So clearly when an architect sits down and they're designing a home, they're designing it with a purpose, and so we design with a purpose.
You know, I've seen designs that you know who the designer was,
Yeah.
not the architect, the designer.
Yep.
And even if it doesn't fit, you know who it is.
Yep.
That's not what you're talking about.
No,
that's
not
the
at all.
opposite, kind of, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I think designers, or I don't want to bash my industry.
Yeah, no.
I have mad respect for every designer out there, but I do feel like people can tend to get stuck into a one-trick pony type of a design, and I think I love a challenge. So when we bought this house, I can't tell you the last time I have done a mid-century modern home. But I loved it. You know, I went to Taliesin almost weekly, studying Frank Lloyd Wright, kind of why he did what he did, because everything has a purpose, an intent when they're designing. So that's what we do when we design, is we have this intent to follow the aesthetic of the home and bring it back to life. So when you have people that do chop design and you go from room to room and it's just like, what's this room? Or what's this room? Or what's this space supposed to be? We come in and we redefine it and define the spaces to show them, okay, this is where we're gonna have cocktails. You know, this is where we're gonna sit down and watch a movie, or this is where we eat, you know? So people sometimes when they walk a house, for example, and you would know this, when you walk a home, sometimes it's like, what is this space? You know, you don't really know. And I'm sure you have many stories, as do I, but.
Well, yeah, but you know, that's so good that I see sometimes like they tried to create a little vignette
Right.
that they thought was sexy or cute
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
But it kind of destroys the flow of the
Right,
house.
right.
And that's what I actually got goosebumps as I said it, because when I'm in one that you did, everything seems to come together, and it just,
Right.
it all flows perfectly, and that.
Sure.
Yeah, you gave me, I don't know if you guys got that, but you gave me exactly what I was looking for. That's what you
Absolutely.
do differently for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're happy to come in, and we're not gonna come in and say, no, it's my way or the highway. We're here to help. That's what we're here for. So if you have an idea, we're here to execute it to the way that it's supposed to be done. So it's so elegant and eloquent, and so you want to stay. And our designs, I'm not gonna lie, I tend to go for a more moody, kind of sexier feel with the home. So I want to design homes that you look good in. I know that sounds so like cliche, but I want people to feel good, you know, and it shows. Like when you put on a great outfit, it's kind of like great design. You put on a great design and people just feel really good. And that's what we love doing.
Let's please, part of the reason you're buying that house is you want your friends to open that door and be impressed.
Yeah.
And when
Wow
you see one of
factor.
your homes, you're impressed.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Might as well be specific. Loving Tree. You know, a lot of people actually have seen the preliminary videos and they say, hey, that looks like a pretty decent house. What did you see as you looked at Loving Tree?
You know, I did not see a 4,000 square foot home.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of walls, steps, all wrong materials. And I know when we filmed the initial preview to the house, we got a lot of feedback saying, well, there's nothing wrong with it. It looks beautiful. The finishes are great. But you really have to see that in person to really understand. And I think which is why people walked away from the home, because you have people saying, yeah, 4,000 square foot home, you know, it's great. It's got a cool pool, like great backyard, great entertaining, but it was wall after wall, step after step, wrong material as a flagstone, carpet, and wood flooring. Everything was competing against each other. So when we had that, you know, brought to our desk, we were ecstatic to get our hands on this house to really show how the house was really meant to be lived in. So we brought in a lot of clean lines, tore down a bunch of walls that were just like unnecessary. It was kind of dated in a sense where in the 90s, soffits were huge. And there were soffits everywhere in this home.
Yeah.
So I think now that we've taken down the walls, we've really revamped the layout of the home and really brought the soul back to this house. I mean, you can tell within these visits that you come through the process of our construction, you can see it coming back to life. You know, a lot of people don't think, you know, dark colors or a dark ceiling is gonna make you feel cramped and tight, and it did the complete opposite. And that's the really fun thing about that, is that I love showing people that what you think is the right way to go isn't always the right way to go. So, and I think Loving Tree is a perfect example of that.
That's the difference. It's counterintuitive, but a professional can see that.
Right.
Or at least with your eye, you can see that. And I think you've really done that there. And you guys will see it too as we get to the reveal. I think you'll be surprised. It looks very different. You know, we just redid the floor plan to be more accurate. And just looking at the floor plan, it's obvious.
Right.
This is a functional home.
Oh, yeah.
And you look at the old one and you go, wow.
Oh yeah.
That was crazy. So.
Entertainer's dream. This house is gonna be, whoever gets this house, I mean, I'm gonna be jealous. I hope I become friends with this person because I wanna be able to come and have drinks with them, and it's a beautiful home. I'm super excited about it.
All right, so I touched on this in one of the other videos, but I have had one thing I'm disappointed with. You know, I watch these HGTV things, and I also, I talk to people who buy homes from me that are doing the remodels, and there's drama. They get divorces over these things.
Oh, yeah.
And on TV, there's always flipping drama. We have no drama. What the hell? No, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't cost overruns, delays.
Yep.
We had, what was the thing? We didn't have a key the first day. Yeah. Wow, I was so upset.
Hey, if that's our only problem, not having the key, I mean, that's a pretty good problem to have. No, but I mean, thank you. But we have the years of experience. I mean, you've seen HGTV, like you just said, where we have seen these problems and we have the experience, we have the teams. We actually like the challenges. So when we see these issues arise or you know, surprises happen out of nowhere, it is not about focusing on the problem, but the solution itself. So we come in and we do the legwork prior to even doing any work on this home, and we identify the potential problems. I mean, that's the important part of an inspection. When you get an inspection done on any home, you want to know what you're going up against. So I rely on a lot of information of the home, and I rely on my team to give me that information to know what is coming my way, so we can appropriately budget, we can appropriately get materials in line to make sure that the project continues on the right schedule. I think a lot of people do watch these HGTV shows, and it creates problems for a lot of designers where they have trust issues because they're expecting something really bad to happen behind a wall. And at the end of the day, it's TV. I would know, I've done it, I've been there, but it's not for, I mean, they do happen, yes, but I think, you know, it's not a TV show unless it's like a cliffhanger, so you stay on. But it's also multiple things of just really making sure you have a great team.
That's very kind that they're setting it up for TV, and I know there's truth in that, but I always hear about cost overruns and delays, and I have been blown away at the spreadsheets and the people that you have that are out there making sure we get the best price on everything. Our pricing has been
absolutely
sick.
Yeah.
We can't go into it too much in this video. Maybe we could do another one, honestly.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's a science the way you guys do this.
Absolutely, yeah. And it goes right back to assembling a great team. We have a great procurement team that takes care of all of our purchasing and logistics and negotiating with pricing to make sure that we do manage the budget accordingly. So there aren't those surprises of, hey, you know, we're 20,000 over and you're not going to get these doors. It is, you know, great news, great news, great news, because we have the right people in place.
Yeah, we actually had that at this point. We were going to use Anderson early on. We even did a video with them.
Yeah.
And then we fell back, and I got to be honest with you, I'm glad it didn't work out. I'm so excited about the doors we got.
Absolutely,
It's
yeah.
going to be awesome.
Yeah, and it worked out to our favor where they're commercial grade. So
Yeah.
it's just top-notch quality stuff. And no shame on Anderson, it just was not the right fit for this project. And I'm sure we'll use them down the road, but for this one, we were able to connect with really, really good vendors here locally and to deliver this beautiful, streamlined, commercial grade, top quality doors and windows for this house. So really excited for the install for that one.
Where do you get your design ideas? What's kind of home for you? How do you keep renewing yourself?
Absolutely. I think a lot of my design ideas come from nature. It comes from my travels, comes from collaboration with other designers, stories from other people. I think it's just there's not a one source that I get my designs from. I think a lot of it comes through just travels and experiences in life. I get a lot of jokes when they see my dog. I have a Great Dane. She's Meryl, so she's a gray Dalmatian looking dog. And she seems to fit every home that we design. And so we get a lot of jokes about it saying, oh, you designed your house around the dog, didn't you?
No, actually, as I asked that question, I'm reminded that as I've been through houses with you, your mind is always percolating on things you can do.
Yeah.
So I know where your ideas come from everywhere, because that's what
literally everywhere.
that seems to be your passion.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I think it's all about taking like ingredients. It's kind of in a sense of, you know, orchestra, for example. You know, you have every section of an orchestra, and when they all come together, it makes a beautiful sound, right? So that's kind of how we do with design. We bring in all these different elements: stone, wood, leathers, you name it, and when it's done appropriately, it can just create the most beautiful aesthetic.
Jeffrey, now I got to be Barbara Walters. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? No, but just give us 3 things that the audience wouldn't know about you just by looking at you, other than that you're 6'8".
Oh, okay. I was born in New Jersey. I grew up in Hawaii, complete opposite parts of the world. I
From obnoxious people to incredibly friendly people.
Yes. I think I get my drive and my work ethic from the East Coast, I'm not gonna lie. But I get my relaxed design from the West Coast.
Oh, right.
So, yeah. Second thing, probably, I played ice hockey for many years. I love to get out and hit the puck. Third thing, I played the piano. I played the piano for many years, so I like to kind of get in there and kind of create my own music as well. So.
Right on. I would not want to see you on skates. You'd be like 7'4".
I'm very tall, yes.
Thank you very, very much. I think we gave these guys a little bit of a sense of what's different.
I hope so. Come see Loving Tree.
Come see Loving Tree.